What really happens when you stop eating for 72 hours? Among all the strategies available to improve your health, prolonged fasting ranks at the very top. Going without food for 3 days, commonly referred to as a 72-hour fast, triggers a profound transformation in your body. Many describe the experience as almost euphoric, entering a mental state that feels deeply calm and focused. Some pursue extended fasting for spiritual reasons or to enhance mental clarity. Others use it as a powerful tool for cellular renewal. In fact, prolonged fasting is one of the only natural methods known to activate deep autophagy, a biological process where your body breaks down and recycles old, damaged cells to generate healthier, newer ones. This internal cleanup is not just detoxification, it's regeneration. But there's another benefit that often goes overlooked: discipline. When you fast for 72 hours, you're not just restricting food, you're training your willpower. You're exercising the ability to say no to impulses even when you're surrounded by the smell and sight of food. And that kind of restraint creates a remarkable shift in mindset. Most people go their entire lives letting their cravings and habits make decisions for them. But when you choose to stop eating for 3 days, you put yourself back in the driver's seat. Strengthening your willpower through prolonged fasting isn't just about temporary self-control. It's about rewiring how you respond to hunger. By extending your fast just a bit longer than you're used to, you challenge both your mind and body to adapt. And each time you succeed, your capacity for discipline grows. Now, let's shift focus to something even more serious: cancer. One of the most significant risk factors for cancer is age. As we grow older, cellular damage accumulates. Inflammation increases. Oxygen delivery to tissues decreases. These conditions, high inflammation and low oxygen, create an ideal environment for cancer to develop and thrive. So how does not eating for 3 days play into this? Fasting is one of the most effective natural strategies to reduce systemic inflammation. During a 72-hour fast, inflammation markers drop significantly and the internal environment of the body shifts. It becomes less hospitable to abnormal cell growth and more favorable to cellular repair. There's emerging evidence suggesting that while cancer cells can survive on glucose and certain amino acids, they do not thrive on ketones, especially the ketones produced during fasting. These ketones aren't merely a backup energy source. They serve as a preferred fuel for the brain, enhance cognitive clarity, and activate longevity-related genes. By incorporating regular prolonged fasting into your routine, even just not eating for 3 days periodically, you create conditions that support healthy cells while making it harder for dysfunctional ones to grow. While no method can guarantee complete prevention, regular prolonged fasting can significantly reduce your risk of developing cancer. This is one of the key reasons I recommend committing to a 72-hour fast once a month. When you stop eating for 3 days, your body enters a deep state of cellular repair. One of the most profound changes is the reduction of insulin levels. Insulin is a growth-promoting hormone, and when kept consistently high, it can create an environment favorable to tumor development. However, prolonged fasting brings insulin levels down sharply, helping your body stay in a cleansing, regenerative state rather than a growth-driven one. Equally important is oxygen. Cancer tends to thrive in low-oxygen environments, so increasing oxygen intake becomes crucial. One of the best ways to do this during a 72-hour fast is through low-intensity movement, specifically long walks. Not only does walking help oxygenate tissues, but it also supports lymphatic circulation and enhances fat metabolism. Growth hormone also surges during fasting. This hormone doesn't just help you burn fat. It plays a critical role in preserving lean muscle mass, even in the absence of food. Now, let's move into the practical side of fasting. 1 or 2 days before you begin your 72-hour fast, start increasing your dietary fat intake. This makes the transition from burning glucose to burning fat much easier and smoother. When your body is already accustomed to using fat for energy, entering a fasted state becomes significantly less stressful, both physically and mentally. Before attempting a prolonged fast, it's crucial to build a solid foundation. Practicing intermittent fasting for a few weeks beforehand can condition your body to become more metabolically flexible, making a 72-hour fast more manageable and effective. Another essential factor in a successful fast is electrolyte balance. When you're not eating for 3 days, your body loses a significant amount of fluids and electrolytes, especially sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These are critical for maintaining energy, nerve function, and muscle performance. An imbalance can lead to fatigue, dizziness, muscle cramps, or the so-called keto flu. Contrary to common misconceptions, electrolytes will not break your fast. In fact, they're vital for sustaining your energy and preventing side effects. One of the most overlooked mistakes people make during prolonged fasting is not consuming enough sea salt, which can leave them feeling weak, lethargic, or mentally foggy. So how do you get salt when you're not consuming food? You'll need to supplement intentionally. Most people benefit from about 1 to 2 teaspoons of high-quality sea salt per day during a 72-hour fast. Dissolve small amounts in water and sip throughout the day. You can also add it to black coffee or mix it with lemon water to make it more palatable. This simple addition can dramatically improve your fasting experience and help prevent muscle weakness or cramps. And just as important as the fast itself is how you end it. The transition phase is where many people stumble. Once your 72-hour fast is complete, what you eat next matters just as much as the fast itself. Do not make the mistake of breaking your fast with sugar or refined carbohydrates. Your digestive system has been in a deeply restful state, and it needs to be reawakened gradually. Introducing the wrong foods too quickly can overwhelm your system and undo many of the benefits you've just achieved. Start small and keep it simple. A spoonful of sauerkraut or a few bites of fermented vegetables are excellent options to support your gut. An egg or a small serving of bone broth is another great choice, offering gentle nourishment and a bit of protein to help your body ease back into digestion. Wait a few hours before your next small meal. This gives your system time to readjust and prevents digestive distress. Many people report not feeling well after a prolonged fast, but the cause is usually one of 3 things. They didn't consume enough sea salt or electrolytes. They jumped into a 72-hour fast without preparing their body through regular intermittent fasting. They didn't include enough protein to support recovery. In fact, I recall one gentleman reaching out to me after a prolonged fast. He had done everything correctly, except for the refeeding phase. Once he adjusted his post-fast meals to include light protein and fermented foods, his results improved dramatically. I once shared the story of a man whose life was completely transformed through fasting. At his lowest point, he was severely depressed, suicidal. He isolated himself in his room, determined to give up. He stopped eating and drinking, intending to let go completely. But something remarkable happened. By the 3rd day, after not eating for 3 days, he experienced a profound shift. His mind felt clearer. His mood had lifted. He was no longer consumed by hopelessness. Curious and confused by this unexpected sense of mental clarity, he went online and began researching. That's when he found one of my videos on the science of fasting. Learning about the biological effects of prolonged fasting helped him reframe his experience, and ultimately, it changed the course of his life. This story illustrates how powerful the metabolic and neurological effects of fasting can be. When done safely and intentionally, not eating for 3 days can enhance brain function, stabilize mood, and bring the body into a state of healing. That said, there are precautions to consider. If you're prone to gallstones, prolonged fasting may cause a temporary buildup of thickened bile, also known as bile sludge. To help manage this, I recommend a compound called TUDCA, a specialized form of bile salts that keeps bile flowing smoothly through the ducts. A typical dose is 2 capsules, twice daily. It's also important to be clear, prolonged fasting is not recommended if you're pregnant or lactating. The metabolic demands during those times are different, and fasting can pose risks. There was a fascinating case involving a group of around 5 to 7 individuals, 1 or 2 of whom had type 1 diabetes. They set out to perform a remarkable physical and metabolic challenge, run 20 miles every single day for 5 days straight. Their goal was to prove that even with type 1 diabetes, it was possible to complete the equivalent of 5 marathons in 5 days. But what made this story even more extraordinary wasn't just the running, it was that they did it all while fasting. Yes, they fasted for 5 full days while running 100 miles. What shocked even the researchers was how little soreness they experienced. How could that be possible? The answer lies in the powerful anti-inflammatory effects of prolonged fasting. Inflammation, typically a major contributor to muscle pain and fatigue, was dramatically reduced, allowing them to recover faster despite extreme exertion. This example underscores a critical point. You can fast and exercise simultaneously, even in cases where a chronic condition like type 1 diabetes is involved. Of course, this kind of challenge must only be attempted under strict medical supervision. This is not a recommendation, it's simply an illustration of what the human body is capable of when it's operating in a highly adapted metabolic state. By now, you've seen the immense potential that comes from not eating for 3 days. From mental clarity and cellular renewal to inflammation control and hormone regulation, fasting is a tool with profound implications for health and longevity. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you're missing some of the most important foundations of this topic. In that first video, I cover what to expect during a 3-day fast, how to overcome the most common challenges, what to eat afterward to reintroduce food safely, and how to maximize all the health benefits that come from not eating for 3 days. So don't miss out. For the complete picture, and to make sure you're fasting the right way, watch part 1 right now. Click the video on your screen. Yes, that one right there. Go ahead and check it out. You've got it. If you haven't seen part 1, you're missing critical insights on how to prepare for fasting, what to expect during the process, and exactly how to break your fast for the best results. In that video, I walk you through everything you need to know to get the full benefits of not eating for 3 days. So make sure to watch it, click the video right here on your screen. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to HeInfo, and turn on notifications so you never miss new health insights backed by science. Leave a comment below if you've tried a 72-hour fast or are planning to. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for watching. Stay informed. Stay healthy. This is HeInfo, your trusted source for evidence-based health education.